Good morning, students. Today we will continue the things which were left out with. That is chapter 16. Okay, sustainable management of resources. Everyone, please turn to page number 284. We will start from there. Forest and wildlife. As we all know, what is forest and wildlife? I won't be explaining that one. Okay, forests are biodiversity hotspot. Do you agree with that? Okay, so what is biodiversity? Bio means life. Diversity means hotspot, and forest is considered as a biodiversity hotspot where we find variety of rare species. And we refer forest as biodiversity because we find different life forms. Have a look on line number 3. We find different life forms from the bacteria, that is from bacteria, fungi, bird, flowering plants, nematode, insects, bird, reptiles, and so on. We find this one, and these are very much required, yes or no, for sustenance, and so we call it as biodiversity hotspot. One of the main aims of conservation is to try and preserve the biodiversity. That means the main aim of conservation is to preserve this biodiversity. When we have a look on the scientists, when we have a look on the researchers, they have suggested that loss of biodiversity may lead to the loss of ecological stability. That means if there is loss of various kinds of plants, animals, then the ecological balance will be hampered. That means the harmony will be disturbed. There will be imbalance in nature. Okay, when we have a look on the next paragraph, we the human beings depend on forests for various kinds of products, but our dependency depends uh, on on organism varies. That means our dependence on forests may be different for different people. Some people have access to alternative forms. Okay, when we take into account the conservation of forests, we need to look on these 4 points, which we call it as stakeholders. First one, the people who live in and around forests are dependent on forest produce for various aspects of their life. That means those villagers, those people who live near the forest and who go to forest for their survival. Okay, for various kinds of food or various kinds of product. That one. Okay, second one is the forest department of the government who owns the land and control the resources from forest. That means the forest department in India. When we have a look, the government has given the responsibility to the forest department to look and take care of the forest. That is the second one. There are the stockholders. The third one, the industrialists. That means those rich people who buy the product raw material from the forest and use it in the industry. That other one. Okay, who use various forest produce but are not dependent on the forest in any one area. And the fourth one, the stakeholders, the wildlife and nature enthusiasts. That means those who love nature and the wildlife, who wants to conserve nature in its pristine form. That means in its original form. Okay, those four stockholders we have already learned, yes or no? Stakeholders. So let us try to utilize, okay, or let us try to learn how this group needs or get out of forest. That means when we have a look on the first one, like local people, those people who live near the forest, they require large quantities of firewood for cooking purposes, while we have a look on for various kind of timber and for making houses, that is thatches, and they get bamboo for making various kinds of various kinds of baskets for collecting and for storing food materials. Implements for agriculture, fishing, and huntings are also derived from the wood. In addition with this kind of things, people gathered fruits, nuts, and medicine from the forest. Apart from that, cattle also graze in the forest area or feed on the foods which is collected from the forest. Okay, when we have a look on this common people, that is the local people, do you think such use of forest resources would lead to the exhaustion of these resources? But not forgetting that before British came to India, they took over our forest area. People have been living in this forest for centuries. Yes or no? When we have a look on the common people, that is the local people, they have been living from ancient times, and they have developed a management process that is in a sustainable manner. Okay, but after the British came to India, they took the resources and they exploited the resources so badly. Okay, and and the common people were forced to take resources from the forests, and this has led to overexploitation of the forest. After the independence, from the British, it was handed over to the Forest Department of India. But this Forest Department have also ignored the ancient management practice which was practiced by the local people. What happens is this, where this forest department have been converted it into monoculture. That means cultivation of only one kind of trees or plantation. Okay, it's like monoculture of pine, teak, and eucalyptus. They have just neglected the ancient practice which was practiced by the local people. And when they for carry out the plantation, they have to clear the forest. That means when they clear the forest, all the vegetation has been destroyed, and this destroy a large amount of biodiversity in that specific area. Not only that, okay, or not only this, the very need of the local people, like leaves for fooders, herbs for medicines, fruits and nuts for food grain, can no longer be met from such forests. Such plantations are useful for the industry to assess specific products only, and are important source of revenue for the forest department. That was the forest department. That is the second point, stakeholders. Okay, when we have a look on the third stakeholders, that is the industrialist or industries. As we all know, for running an industry, we need various kinds of raw materials, and raw materials are available from the forest. And what happens is this: those industrialists will give money to the government, and they will buy the raw material at a very cheaper rate, and they are not interested in the sustainability of the forest in one particular area. Suppose I'm just taking an example. If you have got a big plantation, okay, they will just buy everything, and after that they will just leave it like that. Okay, see, they do not have any stake in ensuring that one particular area should yield an optimum amount of say of some produce for all generations to come. They are like selfish mind. Okay, they are concerned only about their business and the industries. They will exploit to the maximum, and later on they will just leave it in that way. They have got no issues related with the sustainability development or management. Okay, the fourth one, that is the nature and wildlife enthusiast. which are who are in no way dependent on the forest. That means they are no way related with the forest. Okay, and they are just related with their management. The initially where in the ancient times or before in the conservation was meant only for large animals like lion, tiger, elephant, like that. But now they have recognized the need to conserve biodiversity as a whole, and they have took the idea of this local people working traditionally for conservation of the forest. And the best example we can find it is the in case of Bishnoi's community living in western Rajasthan on the border of the Thar Desert. Okay, these are the people who have tried to conserve the forest. And how did they conserve? They have got a tradition of conserving. Okay, the nature loving people, these people, Bishnois, were nature loving people who have nature loving for centuries, been conserving the flora and fauna to the extent of sacrificing their life to protect the environment. Okay, and when we have a look on these people, since they are nature loving, they have sacrificed, they were ready even to sacrifice their life for conserving the flora and fauna. They are living with a basic philosophy. That means they have got a concept that all living things have a right to survive and share all resources. They have got a tradition and they have got a philosophy saying that everything in this world can have a right to survive and share all resources. And based on this, the government of India have recently recommended or instituted an award known as Amrita Devi Bishnoi's National Award for Wildlife Sanctuary. And this award was given in memory of Amrita Devi Bishnois, who sacrificed her life to conserve this forest. What happens is this: it was way in the way back in the 1731. This Amrita Devi sacrificed her own life along with 363 other people for the protection of a special tree known as Kichri tree. And this Kichri tree is very famous in Gichradli village near Jodhpur in Rajasthan. When we have a look on the management of these resources, okay, we cannot use power. Okay, we cannot keep the local people out from this, or we cannot use force against these local people. Cannot By using forces cannot possibly be successful in the long run. And when we have a look, in any cases, the damage caused to the forest cannot be attributed only to the local people. We cannot blame only the local people. One cannot turn a blind eye to the deforestation caused by the industry needs and development projects. We cannot blame only the local people. Apart from that, we have got industrialists or industry that are being run by the resources of the forest. They are equally responsible for it. The damage caused in this rivers by tourists or the arrangement made for their convenience is also to be considered. Apart from those local people and as well as the industries, apart from that we have got various kinds of tourists, and for their convenience we set up various kinds of arrangement in the forest, and these are also the thing to be considered. This is also one of the reason for the degradation of our forest land. Okay, when we have a look on the last paragraph, we should accept that it's all because the forest has been degrading because of human intervention, or the landscape is being destroyed, the forest landscape is being destroyed because of human nature. So the forest resources ought to be used in a manner that is both environmental and developmental sound. That means we should use the resources very much judiciously. That means it should not cause any pollution problem. It should not affect the environment, as well as the development should go on. systematic. That means this implied a sustainable management. We need to adopt a policy of sustainable management, which we can use now and we can use it tomorrow or for the future generations. The environment must not be regarded as a pristine collection of plants and animals. It is a vast and complex entity that offers a range of natural resources for our use. We should not consider just environment as a matter. Okay, we should saying that environment is only plants and animals. We should not consider like that, because we should consider in such a way that we will say that our environment is very large and very vast, and we should take care of all the natural resources. We need to use these resources with due caution for our economic and social growth. We need to use it judiciously. We need to use it in a proper way so that the economic development, social growth, and various kinds of need is being fulfilled. Okay, we need to use these resources with due caution for our economic and social growth and to meet our material aspiration. That's all for today. Thank you.